His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country, so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happen in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Assad is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Komottown, which was carried out through a court order. How does the administration ensure that such enforcement action are done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. If that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, particularly dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you we are vexed that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, you are falling in the place of Moses.
The Liberia National Police commends the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Your respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example. There's nothing this president cannot do. 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 There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do. 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 There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever. 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 George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever. 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 George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or certain condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
We are to God Almighty, the creator and sustainer of the universe. We are grateful to him. We can help but bless his holy name, having kept watch over us last night and has set us into this day to do his work, to get his society better. God watches every day. He sees everything. He knows everything that is unfolding in Liberia. He knows those who are fighting hard to get Liberia better. He knows those who are evil by thought and mind. He knows the despotic, tyrannic, dictatorial rulers. He knows the religious leaders who are concerned about the country. He knows the journalists that are doing what is right for his culture, Liberia. He knows the religious leaders who are in disguise. He knows just everybody. He sees. And that is why when he gets ready, he does his will according to his will. That God we serve, that God who hovers Kings 88.5, the God who is leading individual members, making up the small but effective team here at Kings 88.5. We're grateful to that God. Thank you for coming on too. We appreciate you. We are always inspired by your presence. You are so great, so massive, so extraordinary. Because of you, we sacrificially make the sacrifice, and you complement our effort by whatever way you can, morally, financially, spiritually, just anyway. We appreciate your presence. Thank you for coming on. Wherever you are, in Liberia, Tanzania, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, America, Italy, Germany, France, Korea, Sudan, South Sudan, Bokonjile, just wherever you are following us from. We say thank you and hope that you will have a wonderful, yes, wonderful time. Filio Bar, Pinsville City, Tunin Kabat Jr., Jala Town, Asata Miller, Red Light, Bapin Paul Lee, Johnsonville, Ibrahim Kekula, Grand Cape Mount County, James Wameli, Gwangat City, Kogwe Wida, Mangibi County, Ali Bakayoko, fine name, Bakayoko, Ali Bakayoko. You are following from the United States of America. Great. Musa A. Sharif, Congo Town, Fatu Sharif. Thank you, Fatu. I'm doing good. I guess you are also. Clady Allison, Delaware, USA, Paris Lobot, New Jersey, USA, Silva, Washington, Brovis City, Benson, Guejunion, Nimba County, Augustine T. Munsa. Yes, thank you. Harris City, your terrain community, New Georgia, that's Caldwell, New Georgia, Grace Corner, terrain community. Lungi Coin, Yasa Sharif, Saturday Woodaway, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, Willem Sumawulu, official spokesperson, Civil Rights Movement, Quillen Banks, Moulton Conan, Brovis City, to a best man, Upper Caldwell, that's Bohuman Emmanuel D15, Jackson C. Pony, Block Titan, Iron Factory, Melvin Terry, Battery Factory, Wakazodua, Mecklin Street, Waterside, Heron Tito, Junior Caldwell, Gamonte McIntosh, Old Road, Philip Tokwa, Dallas, Texas, USA, Jeremiah Labla, So Clinic, Gaza, Community. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Jumunkoli, Jukonti Chie, Melia, that's Miller, Kekula, Dallas, Texas, Orita Jikla, Gabriel Lawson, Iron Factory, Broad Street, Poker Roberts, Jamel Eric Kennedy, Rita Christine Hits, Massachusetts, USA, Aliu Famule. My dear sister, Orita Sunday Way Choir, you are on. Good to have you on. Hope that you are good as you have always been good. Thank you ever so much. We are also inspired by your presence. The chairman, the one and only chairman, the chairman for life, the melting pot chairman, the reference point chairman, Block Titan Intellectual Center, the man who is doing so much in his community, the man who is living the dream of George Weah returns to the presidency, the man who is charting a new course. Just as I told you yesterday, the message now is not what George Weah has done. Everybody knows. Only the evil ones would not admit. But the new course is new thing. Yes, new thing. So the chairman did extremely well. I told you people he set up as a sedition. He set up an internet in the place for the people to be accessing information here and there, know what is happening. So, and that's good. Community initiative, personal initiative within your terrain as a partisan of CDC, supporter of George Weah, you do just that. So say again, congratulations to the chairman of Block Titan Intellectual Center, Roman Rico, Kenneth Ball, or Latupan for short. All of you great people. Great. So we should be giving out some cash today. We should be giving out some cash. Let's see from our partners, Radio Entertainment. We should be giving some cash out today. Yes, it's 4,000. Yes, it's 4,000. So you're playing. You're getting some money. You must. I'm not saying should, might, or will. I say you must get money. It's compulsory that you get money. And that compulsion is leading yourself to getting it. Nothing works without action. Everything works with action. That action is what is referred to as faith. It's referred to as testimony. It's referred to as breakthrough. Nothing, no breakthrough, no testimony comes without action. You can feel whichever way you can feel impressed, but once you're not acting, it's not going. So you want to get 4,000, get $4,000, $4,000 Liberian dollars. That's what you're playing for. And that 4,000, you will have free 4,000 giving you free 4,000. So you play. How many dollars you need to play? $50 Liberian dollars or 50 cents US, and then there's it. Simple as that. All right. Over the time I haven't talked, not that I forgot, but I give you a little time. The King Support Basket is there. Please let me remind you. I know that you forgot. Sorry, I didn't remind you. Yeah, I take blame for that. The King Support Basket is there. Please do whatever you can. Help us whichever way you can. Whatever, we appreciate it. Ain't no shame. They say you can't eat crab with shame. You eat crab with shame. I think our expression came from the Bible, because almost all the people that I saw in the Bible that were shame, they ate crab with shame. It ain't work for them. So we're not eating crab with shame. Yeah, we need your support financially. That's why we have our basket. Whatever you can help us with, we appreciate it. $100 Liberian dollars, $200, $1,000, $10 US, $15, $20, $50, $500, whatever the amount. Yeah, we will appreciate. The numbers are before you. 055-885-885. That is the send wave. Wherever you are around the world, you just get there, drop it in. 055-885-885. In Liberia, it's called local mobile money number 077-017-885. 077-017-885. As we are talking, you want to take your 4,000. You also want to drop in the basket. Let's get started with developments unfolding out of Liberia. Nigeria's police have acknowledged that dozens of Christian worshippers were abducted during church services on January 18 this year in Kaduna State, Kemonwali community, after initially dismissing the reports as misinformation. Armed gunmen attacked multiple churches in Kajuru local government area, with local sources estimating up to 177 people were taken, though some later escaped. Amnesty International condemned earlier denial by police and called for urgent action as security forces launched search and rescue operations. Indian police has dismantled an international drug trafficking syndicate operated by Nigerian nationals, arresting 2 men and seizing significant quantities of cocaine and MDMA with an estimated street value of around 600,000. The operation began after officers received a tip-off in early December this year. Last year, with about about a Nigerian man previously linked to drug cases who was allegedly supplying narcotics in South Delhi. Analysis of the suspect phone and ongoing investigation enable officers to identify and arrest a second Nigerian national, where additional MDMA tablets were recovered. Police say the syndicate used WhatsApp numbers registered abroad and intermediaries to distribute drugs across Delhi and adjoining states. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has approved salary increase for politicians and other public service bearers. The salary adjustments will take effect from April 1. Under the new structure, the deputy president will earn around $177,000 a year, cabinet minister around 100 And he too attributed it to something magical, ritual. He said he did not understand what was happening, surprised that he would take the ball straight to the goalkeeper. But that's what it is, man. We have seen players taking a penalty, giving it straight to the goalkeeper. We saw that with Nigeria. Nigeria penalty shootout. The second player, I think is either the second or the third. He gave the ball directly to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper didn't have to struggle to make the save. The ball went right into his arms with no struggle. Even on the European scene, we see that it happens. And in game of such finals, the pressure is always, or the expectation, and the expectation goes with pressure, and pressure goes with pressure goes with expectation, expectation goes with pressure. Everybody looking up to you. Everybody, they are at the edge of their seats. They are nervy. Whether you will miss it or you will score. Some people, they turn their back, they want to see it. The weight is on the player. A player who misses a penalty, we see most times in games, they never themselves. If his team goes on to lose, if he misses a penalty in a game, they still have time to play and he manages to score, it covers up for that penalty he missed. So the psychological burden will not be much. He can relieve himself, or he will have relieved himself by that. That's why when a player misses a penalty, he does everything to score so that it erases the penalty he missed. Finals, we've seen that, and you have seen more than I have known. Years back, because of the pressure, the captains will be the last. Now, let me tell you what they were doing, not necessarily to be the one to score the winner. The commentator would say he won it for his team, but that was not the only penalty. One of the reasons I suspect is the burden. The first man goes to kick, he scores. The second man scores. The third man scores. And one of them misses it. Right there, there is every possibility of going through. So the pressure is not much on the last man. They only used to do that as for morale. They used to use it as a morale. That's all. Not necessarily that when they take the kick and score, then no. Because the other guys will have already, they go ahead, they score. So it was for morale boosting. The captain will stay when everybody finished taking the kick, they score, and then he's the last person score, they win, he ain't score, they go on to win, and so on. So just go, bam. If you've been following the game, you sense this shift. You sense this shift. There is a shift. The guides, the captains, or big players, they will go, as they call them in football, they will take the penalty kick first. We saw that. We saw it in the World Cup. The last World Cup, Argentina, France, Lionel Messi for Argentina as captain. Nobody was expecting him. Everybody thought that he was going to wait, and everybody, when his guys have done with the kick, then he can go. But it was surprising. Everybody looking. And then you heard the commentator, because we were watching the game live, the commentary, the guy said, the captain, Argentinian captain, Lionel Messi, is the first to move to the spot with the ball. And then after Messi scored, who we saw for France? Kylian Mbappe. So you see that most of the guys now, the captains, if you watch most of the games, the captains go to kick first. There is a shift. And sometimes they take the ball straight to the goalkeeper. Sometimes it goes wide. I'm not disputing that nothing African happened, because I know. But that's why Mohamed Simon said that something magical or ritual took place in the final, that their player would miss a penalty of such. It's normal, it can happen. If it hasn't happened before, if the world has not seen it, it's the first time, then probably people will be suspecting around that area. But it can happen. Yeah, you will have something the same way. You will have something in mind, but by the time you reach the spot, forget it. It's two things in penalty kicking. It's psychological and it's geometrical. You have to know measurement, because it goes with precision and accuracy. That is purely geometry. And the psychological aspect, everybody looking up to you. Everybody. The 40,000, 100,000 persons on that field for again, everybody looking up to you. The expectation is high, either to miss or score, and then the people on the other side, the expectation is you should miss it, so they will go on to yeah, that's how it is. Okay, thanks for the understanding. We're back. We went out of LEC. Thanks to the technical man, Mountain 12, who got us back on the air as quickly as he can. LEC went off. Yesterday, the same thing. When we were on the foreign developments, LEC went off. Since it's what we experience, then let me go ahead of that, because I have it on my pointers or on the talking points. LEC issue a statement, the management of the Liberia broadcast. Look at me, what is the management of LEC? I'm coming to talk about FBS, so that's the reason. Yeah, I have something. Yeah, that in whole day we can hear FBS will never be the same. Something happening from inside. So the management of LEC, Liberia Electricity Corporation, released a statement. Here is it. Listen carefully. The Liberia Electricity Corporation wishes to inform the public that the recent abrupt power disruptions experienced in parts of the country were not due to inadequate electricity supply, nor has LEC reached any critical stage of load shedding. The interruptions experienced over the last few days, including today's disruption, which was yesterday, resulted from abrupt trips on the Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea CLSG tension line, which serves as the regional interconnected electricity backbone linking the four countries. When such trips occurred on the CLSG network, They generate system feedback into local substations to protect critical equipment and prevent extensive damage. LEC automated protection systems are designed to immediately shut down affected components. LEC assures the public that this protective response is a standard and necessary safety mechanisms to safeguard infrastructure and ensure system reliability. Following the incident, LEC technical teams promptly intervene and power is being successfully restored to affected areas. Normal operations have since resumed. The Liberia Electricity Corporation sincerely apologizes for any inconvenience this temporary disruption may have caused and reassures the public of its continued commitment to reliability of provision of electricity across the country. LEC remains steadfast in strengthening its system and collaborating with regional partners to enhance grid stability. This is LEC's statement. Shifting blame, giving excuse. This is a blatant lie. Hear me, and hear me well. This is a blatant lie by LEC. There is a serious financial and technical problem. They opted to explain the technical side, which is not too clear, and they left out the financial side. CLSG line, Liberia is not being supplied because Liberia is the only boy child or the only girl child loved by the parent. Thousands, $1 million go into dates. I think it's quarterly. It's not annual. I think it's quarter. What they don't want to tell you is they are ashamed. Now, if you listen to AB last night, if you listen carefully to AB last night, you will get when he said that these things, they happen. Not necessarily that government would do. Not necessarily that people would take interest also in being happy for what is happening. Not everything that happened, the government knows. Some of the things they know, some that error, some negligence. But when they were in opposition, they would not understand the difficulties that the government was going through to have LEC regular, to have a stable transportation, to have every other thing. They knew the technical problems, yet they put it on ineptitude. They said the former president was inept, didn't have the leadership, the country in darkness. They were referring to the country as hell under the Weah regime, that the country is dark, no electricity. This same CLSG arrangement was in place in Weah's time. Along the way, you can experience a technical problem. The government was paying, I think, between $2 or $3 million. If I'm not mistaken, it was every month or quarterly. And it was weighing heavily on the government. Initially, when the CDC government initiated this arrangement with the CLSG stuff, the current was stable. The same way you see it in Unity Party government. People were enjoying LEC. LEC was stable. Some people in the opposition, they say, oh, because we're in rain season. That's the reason why George Weah know. Oh, all kinds of things they were saying. But they knew that there was technical problems along the way. Today, it is the same problem they are encountering. Over the days, you will hear a decision coming from Ivory Coast. They don't want to tell you that they are facing financial problem, though the technical aspect there, but they're putting everything on the technical aspect. They don't want to tell you, because if they talk about the financial aspect of being delinquent in their payment, given what they've done against CDC government, everybody who supports CDC will come against them. And they don't want, they try to avoid shame. Listen carefully. Here is a line to tell you that they are lying. It says, the interruptions experienced over the last few days, including today, which was yesterday, January 20th, today's disruption resulted from an abrupt trip on the Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea CLSG transmission line, which serves as the interconnected electricity backbone linking the three countries. When such trips occur on the CLSG network, they generate system feedback. Now they went on to say, yes, those areas that have been affected have been restored. Why LEC will treat the people like this? Why Unity Party will treat the people like this? That is a blatant lie. The same thing is still happening. There is no full restoration. What LEC management is saying in this statement simply is this: the problem has been solved, restoration is on. Restoration means the problem has been solved, you have current, there's no fluctuation again, no on and off. Everything's stable and you're enjoying your current 24/7. How many times? Just around here in Central Monrovia, ask people around. Some of you are experiencing where you are. This morning, from this morning, current on and off. It will come for 1-2 hours, it go on for 6 hours. The other people on this side say, oh, y'all get current, we ain't get current on that side. If the problem was solved and there is restoration, why the same thing is still happening? It doesn't sound to reasoning. It doesn't make sense. If something is restored and you explain it with stability, it means it will not happen. The people will not experience it, but the people experiencing the same thing. The LEC were on when I started the show on the foreign news. LEC left. Right now, the generator we're running on. So the problem isn't solved yet, but they don't want to say the main thing. They are facing a serious financial problem. Only a person who don't know about that CLSG arrangement will take this thing from LEC serious. But listen, they say time will tell. When it reached a serious point, they will say, hey, I thought to start this way, but since LEC on and off, that was the first pointer. But listen, let me add my voice to what Israel had this morning. Nothing new. We've been talking about that. The close of 2024, going into 2025, we talked that. Leaving 2025, getting into 2026, we talked that. Until the opposition community or stakeholders within the opposition can really think out of the box and stop being rhetorical and stop feeling that something significant is being done, nothing will happen. The Professor Claw was here the last time, and he took time out to talk about the weakness of the opposition. And what did he say? That you guys are the ones who are doing the talking. We who are outside, we see. We know how they depend on you. They are more relaxed listening to you to do the talking than they can join in to help. That the opposition, not effective, not aggressive. The world moves on the plane of technology. Propaganda, information, all of those things are significant. Till now, I do not know whether the opposition have a clear roadmap of how they are going into 2029. It seems they might operate independently. But given that idea that came out this morning from Israel, makes a lot of sense. This is not to say, as others were suggesting, leave a given network. No, you can leave a given network. You can build your own. You can be there at times, but you should have your own. When you are not independent, when you have nothing of your own, you are subservient. You wouldn't have the kind of voice that you want to have. You wouldn't. Eugene Fagon came out and said that A.B. Williams should not be allowed to enter FBS because he insults the president. He did not realize, even though he knows, but he did not allow common sense to prevail, that A.B. Williams has his own radio station, media station, that he is not a subservient character. He doesn't need the help of another person. He is independent. His radio station goes far and wide. He is a brand, a media brand, a political brand, a legal brand, a whole person in one. I'm using this example to help Israel put sense in our guys' head. Those are all of those guys are unique personalities politically. Imagine all of those guys who are stakeholders, political opposition stakeholders, just develop a network and reach an arrangement with the 4 or 5 opposition radio stations. You don't need to come to a given radio station. You only need to sit where you are. The platform is built, and then there is the relay. Just like you have Spoon Talk, you have Class Reloaded. You only need extension. You only need extended platform, or a platform that will extend your voice. It's all you need. The strength of Spoon is not because of a Spoon, it's because of the various networks they have. The strength of Class Reloaded is not because they are Class Reloaded, it's because of the connecting the other networks that they use to spread. Once you can have that, you command a great deal of the population. Everywhere people turn, they listen to you. Everywhere they turn, they hear in you. When you own a giving your personality, you own a giving radio all of the time. It is not the radio station that is popularizing you. You are popularizing that radio because of your personality. That's what it is on that side. That's why the man himself doesn't allow these guys to leave. Look at the number of seditions. Look at the number of seditions that sit there. If all of those guys and others will come together and just develop a platform going into 2029, you have radio stations that will back you up. You know what's going to happen to those networks that are lambasting your community? They will break down with time. They'll break down. Personality makes the difference. Personality adds substance and spice. All of those guys on that panel, majority of those guys, they are seditionists. They support George Weah. Look at them. They are veteran. Some of them are veteran journalists, veteran politicians. They sit on that platform and giving spies, increasing the fame of that network. It is not the network that increasing their fame. They are already brands. They are using their brand to spread it. When Kev Hassan left, what happened? The horse fell it. For those 3-4 weeks Kev Hassan was off, he had to beg Kev Hassan to go back. The presence of Gibson Jeru, a veteran journalist and politician, and just go on and name, all of those people leave that show. That Canio there, and the other people, what they would do? The old few lady, Dr. Francine there? No, nothing. It will just die down gradually. People like to listen to certain people, aggressive voice, authoritative voice. Going into 2029, they have to think in that direction. We said it before. Israel was not saying anything new this morning. He was just adding up what we have been talking. We've been giving pieces of advice. But these people, listen, these people within the opposition, these people who are around George Weah, they are not helpful too. They are not. Let me give you another one. The guys, the leading opposition politicians in this country, they are willing. They are willing to support by their presence. I think Akaras developed an idea called a vision for Liberia or Vision Liberia something. And then he requested the presence of CMC political leader Musa Bility. Musa Bility never hesitated. He went there. Why did Musa Bility go without hesitation? Because he is an opposition member, and an opposition member called him on the platform. Imagine, I cannot tell you how that platform will go so wide and become so big in no time. When all of those guys come together, and then you see them, they'll have the support of all of those guys. The same way the people can call Snow. Snow go on there. Snow will feel comfortable sitting in there with his colleagues. Musa Bility will feel comfortable. MPC Simeon Freeman will feel comfortable. All of those opposition people, they'll feel comfortable. In no time, by the presence on that platform that will be created, it will go far and wide. And what will happen is it will diminish. It will kill the morale with time of the other side. Common sense. We've been sharing these things with these people. When the speaker, the former speaker, was in that situation, we spoke to some of his people off air. This is the situation. The information is out. This is what you need to do from a media perspective. This and that. So they say, oh, yes. Oh, St. Andrew, yeah, we know. And you guys know. And yeah. Until he went out. At the time they wanted to do it, it was lit. Bouaka was at 99.9%. And we said there's nothing we could do. We can't. They refused to listen. Going into 2029, given what we've seen, given what this culture is presently, given what Unity Party want to stay on in 12 years, it will take a sustained opposition propaganda to sway opinion and decision. Not in fragment, not individual. You can use your individual skill, but you need an institution. You need a base. You need a base. Why everybody, the entire, just take a stroll from Central Memorial going all the way. In the evening, everybody you pass, you hear AB voice, you pass, you hear AB voice, because AB has a base. He's swaying opinions, changing minds politically. If he didn't in the night, no. You can make a difference when you don't have. Here's another one. When was coming, it was announced formally that it will be contesting the election. Kings FM was on. It was all music, and the other people that now they had Radio Morovia, they had FBS, they had DC 101, they had all the kind of stuff all around. And then fast forward, there's the political era. It's tense. Politicians running to this radio and saying this and saying that and saying that. Now they are hitting at George Weah. He's a footballer. He doesn't know anything. How can you take a man who, from the football field to become president of a country to on the air? And Kings FM was just playing music. Some of the guys look at it and say, come on, Weah, you got to do something. You have a setup. You are the only opposition with a radio station. And we cannot tell you how radio station is powerful. You have to turn. Otherwise, then that these people will overcome you. You have the base already. You have the setup. These people don't have. You have. That's the advantage you have over them. Onasa, you have to think. It's not just shouting. It's not just saying, oh, 2029 will move Bwaga. 2029 will what? Yes, that's true. It is your decision. But that decision is not going to take place now. That decision is for a supernatural time, 2029 set by God. Before you can get to 2029, what is your thinking? What is your vision? What is your action? You need to do something. You need to develop an aggressive, sustained propaganda machinery. An organized one. Look at the guys within the opposition. Look how great guys, highly educated, exposed politically, grounded. And you can sense the commitment. You can see loyalty in the people towards George Weah. You can see the people, they are ready to sacrifice anything, their reputation, their character for George Weah. You can see the respect they have for George Weah in them. You need that. You need that. You have these platforms. You just need to speak with the management. You have all of the people. Instead of running to this place, you run to the other side. You do a podcast. Podcasts, they are good. But let's see, they're just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You wouldn't be consistent with it. You wouldn't be consistent. Out of Liberia, going in regional countries and other European countries, the people use the radio the most. In our country, Yeah, people will follow you when you're doing your live feed. Not many. Not many. You'll find few people who can afford data. Some people will say, no, I would take 400 to put data in my phone when I get other things to do. But they don't need data to listen to a radio or to hear what is on radio. They don't need data. They only need to get a radio on. They will say to themselves, but if I put data, I try to wise it in no time my data will finish. Moreover, the internet is not effective. The radio station can fluctuate. I'm not fluctuating. Thousands of people everywhere in this country listening to me. I'm consistent. That's the advantage radio has. Except there is a technical problem, then we're not on the air. But once everything is said, the radio is consistent. That is strategy. The boy, yeah, VOL there. Listen, why it is true that I'm not part of that management, they know the reason. But when I heard that from the onset, it didn't go down well with me. And what we also heard, we first heard how they wanted freedom. And freedom management said no. And I know that the reason freedom management said no, because it will have taken freedom off completely. Because the man who is there, who will always want these institutions, he is a government man. So he uses. He sits on his platform, and then the rest of it being relayed and lambasting the opposition. How can you put your weapon at the disposal of your enemy? So not much now can come from VOL. Why it is true, we understand, we don't know why they have the reason, but listen, no, you think they can bring that thing to King's FM? They able to even think about the knee AB? They know they can. No, they ain't even come across their mind. You know what you will be doing? You take your AK, put it in the hands of your enemy to kill you. These guys, they have to think. Let's see, we'll not be thinking for them all of the time. If they can develop something good from a propaganda perspective, well, we're playing our part. That's all we can do. We can do more than this. At least we're doing our part as an institution, as a radio station, Kings 88.5. But we cannot force them to do what they don't want to do, or that they see it as not being timely. No, we can't. Not at all. That will be doing it for that. Let's get to the next pointer, and then that will be doing it for today. Let's get to the next. We've got, okay, this one. So the mother of the 15-year-old boy who was allegedly murdered, allegedly gang rape or gang sodomized, as the police director Gregory Coleman would say, gang sodomites, is accusing the lead prosecutor of the Ministry of Justice. He is Councillor Isaac George of continued bias, intimidation, and harassment. She said her son is still leaking at the hospital. Her son is still leaking at the hospital. That's what she said. Her son is still leaking. You know what that means? It's still leaking at the hospital. they seriously damaged him. That her son is still in a terrible condition at the hospital, and it has caused a serious trauma for her. She said they damaged him and they want to compromise everything, that they are plotting to exonerate the perpetrators or the alleged doer of the act. Let's bring on the mother when she gave an interview to Verity News.
My concern here is with the George and with Gender Ministry. Since we've been going through the case, going up and down and things, my son is not comfortable with the judge, and I myself am not comfortable because whenever the judge is around, he doesn't behave good. When he asking him questions, he will just be acting like he don't know what he's saying. He will be changing his words and things. And I asked my son, and he told me that from day one, from the day that the defendant was put behind bar and the judge came in, my son is not comfortable. He told me that he's not comfortable with him. Because whenever he around, the boy does not want to talk. He will be talking different things, but when he's talking to other people, he will explain exactly what happened. And I myself, the way things going, I'm not comfortable with him. Because the other time he even made a remark, the day that they arrested the defendant, the day that he got arrested and they dismissed him from his job, he made a statement that they didn't go down well with me, and it playing on me, it made me to raise up Abba. He told the boy that, why you not want to show the building? If you do not show the building, it means that they may walk outside free, and will only treat you because for your business. The man have lose his job, and the building is saying that uncompleted building is not uncompleted building. The building furnished, just like that. I even raised an issue on it and called one of the investigators and told him. He told me that well, the man was frustrated and thing because of the case, the way the pressure on them and thing. I told him, I said, even as that, we are the victim. You shouldn't be talking to us that way. And since then, my son is not comfortable with him. And the last thing we went on Sunday again, the boss show we went there. The whole the judge was just acting. Somebody told you that the man took me Ken Johnson Road. He never told you say he know the road, but he told you that he said in his statement, and I was there when the one start center was questioning him, I was there for his questioning. He said once he take me to the building, I know the building they take me in. He didn't say I know the road to that, but he said on Ken Johnson Road. And then while going there, they made just on Papa Road to even take Ken Johnson Road. When we went there, the boss showed the building. Then he continued to ask the boss, you sure that the building? You sure that the building? The boss said, this is the building. The boss showed the building. Still, he just acting that type of way. So it making me afraid. I am not satisfied with this judge. And my son is not comfortable with him. So I am calling on each and every one of us. I'm calling on President Joseph Newman Boakai, who I voted for since 2011. I've been voting for him. I'm calling on his wife. She's a mother like me too. Let she feel my pain. Let she put herself in my shoes. My first child was victim by 3 grown-up men who is hospitalized, wearing pampers. And those investigators, they are not seeing it. They are not feeling my pain. Something tell me that they want to do something fishy because the way in which they acting. When especially the judge, my son always not feeling comfortable. He always tell me once he around. So I am not satisfied. I am calling on the government, more especially President His Excellency Joseph Newman Boakai, to find me an independent lawyer or judge that will plead for my son's case. I am not satisfied with this, with the judge. Because once he's there, my son will not able to speak. Because from the early stage, the child told me, and I even raised concern, they said only he can be, only he Without him, there's no other person. But I have to raise concern because it is my kids. It is me that feeding my pain. It is me that wearing my shoes. And I know how much it is pinching me.
Terrible. Yeah. That's why the man was laughing when he was being escorted by the sheriff and others out of the court. He was laughing, cracking jokes with his colleagues because he knows who he is. He knows his status. He knows his connection. He knows nothing will come of it. So he showed no remorse, no regret whatsoever. And now you're saying it. These Unity Party people are very wicked to the core, very diabolical. That boy finished. That boy finished. Thank God it is their own Unity Party people. It's not opposition. If that was an opposition person, you would have seen 3 pay cuts filled with armed men going for that man. They're acting like they have not heard about it before. Oh, yaka. LRB. But a Unity Party, it's good. It's happening during the time. That's it. It's almost time for you. Let's go to this one. Let's talk this one. And then that will be doing it. Let's go. The court yesterday issued a subpoena requesting the management of Clark Hope Foundation to produce all of the documents of the construction of that place so that they will go through them and make a determination of seizing or not seizing the place. Unity Party had always wanted that place. President Joseph Yeman Boakai has never hidden his feelings about taking that place from Clark Weah. As a matter of truth, Joseph Yeman Boakai prime target is George Weah. He doesn't speak to George Weah. He doesn't want to speak to George Weah. As far as concerned, he's the president, and he just don't want to hear the name George Weah. So he has this vindictive tendency to go after using Arab and Clark Mountain as the surrogate. Arab is only going after people who are connected to George Weah. If anybody would think that this is not a witch hunt, you must be living in a dream world. If Unity Party people tell you that it is not a witch hunt, then they are deceiving you. It is a witch hunt. If you don't know what a witch hunt is, this is it. Going after a certain person or a certain people, even though you say that XYZ people too, they are part, but you have no time for them. You're going after a specific person or specific people, leaving the rest out. That is a witch hunt. It means that you are hunting certain people within the group, even though you say you're going for everybody making up the group, but you're passing by the people who have grave situations too, and then you're going for a certain people. That's witch hunt. If anybody will tell you that it is not politically motivated, then you know what? Then you don't know what political motivation is. Boakai is motivated, has a high motivation to take everything from George Weah. Boakai's intent is to bring George Weah to nothing. That is Boakai's intent. That is Unity Party goal. They have always hated George Weah from day one. They are in power. They are not hiding the feelings. They are telling you how it will be 2029, that George Weah will not contest 2029. By this expression, Weah will not come back. He will not get the presidency again. That expression I told you, from a political perspective, it doesn't say that they are not, they are ignoring the ability of the person. They know the ability of the person because the person is forceful, is powerful, is witty. They will do everything they can to ensure that that person does not have any right to contest. That's what that statement means. If you don't understand that statement, sorry to say, then you need to sit down and do logic. When they say, when Unity Party, you hear Unity Party officials saying boldly, fearlessly, joyfully, that George Weah will never come back to power in Liberia. They're not saying that George Weah does not have the ability to come back. They're acknowledging George Weah's ability. But since they are in power, they will use everything they can. They will use all of their political machinery to ensure that it does not happen. That it's going to be might makes right, the Machiavellian theory. We have the power, we determine what is what. They've been behind that place from day one, as if it is the only property supposedly acquired, as they are portraying it. They have people within the very government from the opposition who are alleged to have acquired. They say no. That is why some of the people went in their cycle and say, I feel secure on the side. On the other side, I was not secure. So what they're doing over there now, they're giving information to the people. Those former CDC people, they're the one giving information. I say, oh, they want this, they want that, they want that. Because, listen, they're supposed to say nobody can sell you your own house and something like that. When the woman wants to track you down, the woman is not using himself. He's using people within. You think those guys just want to Joe Boaga and close them out? They supply Joe Boaga information and say, oh, George, we are this, oh. George, we are this, oh. George, we are this, oh. That's why someone follow all the people that they've been supplying. You can't tell me a lie. You go in heaven what to say, Angel Gabriel down. It will tell you about the people told Boaga this, they told Boaga that. You don't see the people bragging how they're comfortable, they're secure with Boaga than they were with George Weah. So that strengthens the people. But again, it's not going to be as they wanted. I think they try to create a distraction again. Every time they feel in something, they will create a content so that everybody will turn there. They realized that the pressure was on the speaker for his infidelity. So they try creating something else and say, let's go after. Let's say this one, let's say that one. How can you be Arab boss and you display property of the former first lady and Fina Bono? Those are they the only two people that work in George Weah government? Nobody else? There are people who work in Weah government. You say it was going to be comprehensive, but the comprehensive turns to selective. And you would think people would not consider that a witch hunt? Politically motivated? What is it that you want that place for? What is it? You're just envious because you say that government money, she used her capacity as first lady. Now, other people are arguing now that Katimu Boaga served as second lady. She had this foundation, she did XYZ. Where did she get the money from? Even the very foundation that Boaga has, what Boaga is doing, that foundation, was that foundation effective as it was? I mean, as it is now? Isn't it Boaga, the Boaga money, that the state money Boaga using? The ones that Katumu Boaga is managing. What money? Was it the money that she acquired when she was when she was former second lady? Everything she's doing now. So can we go there too? When people start raising all those arguments and say no. But the only one, that place, because they see it beautiful, is this and that, so they want to take it. Listen, whether you go up your canal, Bwaka is very wicked. I said that thing. The only vindictive character, the only wicked character to walk the earth is Joseph Yeman Boakai. You get vexed, your Unity Party people, anything you can say that your business. People can look at your act and say, oh yes, they think ain't got nothing to do with selective stuff. It's not selective. It's not politically motivated. It is not a witch hunt because the men going after everybody. But you're not doing it. You're going after certain people. Only those people with George Weah. Now somebody said when they finish with Clan Marie Foundation, when they take it, then they're going to George Weah. Right now, nobody's saying anything. When the other people start doing it, they say, oh. Let me bring on Gibson Jeru. Gibson Jeru is a strong supporter of George Weah. I like his position. His stand has always been consistent. Yeah, there are times he's critical of George Weah, realistically, but he is defensive of George Weah. He defends George Weah to the core. Let's have a listen to him on this thing.
My problem with this process is that Clan is doing a fishing expedition. Clan is doing a fishing expedition. I would think when you are subpoenaing documents, there will be specification of documents that you are going to be subpoenaing. But they are asking that Clan Weah bring out documents. It's like, Clan Weah go in your vault and bring all the documents that you have and bring it before the court. That's the way it looked to me. It's like a fishing expedition. We don't have nothing. We don't have anything in our hand, but we want the person to prosecute. We want them to produce evidence against themselves. Do you have a law in Liberia that you will base your legal premise on to carry a first lady to court because she solicited donation by herself to build an institution? Everything in Liberia should be based on law, not on feelings, not on sentiment, not on wish, not on wish hunt. This is a stinking process that the asset recovery team is on. It's a rabbit hole that they are putting themselves, because there is no way that you can go out there. I'm not a lawyer, but what lawyers have talked to, I know, if you want to ask for document, you don't ask for blanket document. You can't just go and just bring any document that you got when you're asking, when you are filing for a subpoena for a ducis article. You specify what